What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Dude Ranch DIY. It is 6:35 on Sunday, March 9th. Daylight savings was today. So we got, I don't know, I guess we lost an hour, but as you can see, it is staying light longer here in southwestern Connecticut. Now, I chose today to do a little bit of spring cleanup, started blowing the leaves and stuff, getting stuff ready around the house, cleaning off the patio and stuff, because it was about 52 degrees today. It's pretty nice. Now, as I turn around, you're gonna see, I just blew all the leaves back here in the woods. And over here by where I keep several attachments and stuff, we are right up against the fence here in the back of the house. If you're gonna start a big project, it's gotta start with a first step. And today, March 9th, 2025, I took that first step in what is going to be many, many, many steps in building a pole barn. Sarah and I have been in the planning stages of building a pole barn now for, we've talked about it for years. Ever since we bought the property, we've seriously been planning and talking to builders and getting ideas and figuring out what we want over the past, basically all winter. In the fall, we kind of decided that we thought we would be able to do it, afford it. We've been saving up for it. So this is that first step. For those of you wondering, no, I'm not going to be leveling this site myself with the Kubota U35. That machine, I'm sure, will do plenty of work around the site, helping out, grading and stuff like that, maybe once the building's built. But in order to move the amount of dirt that we need, and in order to build the road that we need to get the materials up here and concrete trucks and stuff like that, we need to build a whole road. And we're gonna need a big machine. We got massive oak trees back here. I mean, as you can see, this thing is bigger than I am. And it's gonna be quite the project. And I hope to document as much of it as I can. Okay guys, it's been a couple weeks since I was back here and took that first step in just kind of blowing all the leaves out of this area where this barn's gonna go. It's a pole barn. Had a little bit of time today, just moved all the attachments that used to be here and brought them down to the corner of the wood yard where I was keeping the majority of the other attachments. But I figured, might as well keep making some progress. I got a couple hours here this afternoon. I'm gonna start cutting down some of these small trees. All of these trees in the immediate vicinity I want gone. I don't want any big trees over this barn. So we're gonna start dropping them and chipping up what we can, and we'll leave the log poles for firewood. I got the wicked grapple on the front of the tractor too. Here we go. found an ancient Indian artifact here. As you can see, it is an ancient arrowhead. It was made back in Taiwan at some point, eons and eons ago. All right, guys, we've been putting in the work here. It's a total of about 2.5 hours. I've cut down, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 over there. You know, decent sized trees. This one, I'd say, was probably the biggest, coming in around, oh, I don't know, the sugar maple. Probably around like 10, 11 inches. You can see they're all juicing with the sap. Sap is flowing. But yeah, we did good. You know, we got everything cleaned up. I got all the firewood poles stacked up in a pile, and you know, it all looks good. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself out here because I don't know exactly, you know, when I'll be out here next. I don't want it to be an absolute mess. So I like working in little chunks, take down what I can afford to clean up, and we'll just keep moving on. Okay, making more progress. A couple days later from the first day, came out to cut trees. Got a bunch more little ones cut over in this area. I think that's pretty much how far I'm gonna go. I might take, you know, that sugar maple, it's like 3 stems, and then those 2 right there, just because when we go to take this big one down, you know, there's a couple leads that are definitely going to go that way. That'll take those out. I also want to get this birch out of here. I think I can drop that. It's got just enough lean coming this way. The trunk's going this way, the top's going that way, but the trunk weighs more than the top. Couple of these little sugar maples I'll probably have to drop this way, just because there's this big piece of dead wood on the oak, and I don't think those are big enough to bust that out. You know, even if it's dead, it's black oak, it's pretty strong. But we're certainly opening up here. I can't wait to get this sugar maple down because that will definitely open things up. I have no problem dropping it. We just got to get a line in it, and I need Chris or somebody on one of the machines to pull it over this way. But yeah, I mean, the Woodmax has been doing a great job, guys. That's the MX 8800 by Woodmax, and I mean, you could just see these chips. Like, look at that. That is all good stuff. And we were definitely chipping, you know, close to its capacity. Oh, look who's showing up here. Chris. That could be good timing. I didn't know he was coming by here. I don't know what he's here for. But anyway, yeah, these chips are real good quality, and you know, it's shooting them pretty far. We were chipping some like 8-inch stuff. Oh yeah, this one has a hanger up in it in the oak, so we got to be real careful about that one. Got to be careful. See my hinge, I left hinge wood all the way through, a little bit more on the right side. Make sure we pulled it away from the shelter logic. Oh look, Chris just drove up here. Huh.
Need a chip truck?
Yeah, kinda. Now I feel stupid.
Why?
Well, maybe I don't have to build a road.
Maybe not.
You just bombed up that.
In two-wheel
What do you,
drive.
huh?
In two-wheel drive.
I can't hear you.
In two-wheel drive.
Oh. Well.
Not really.
Huh?
Not really.
Oh no? Man, if you did in two-wheel drive, I was gonna say, I think a cement mixer's at least four-wheel drive.
Yeah. It's a little steep. I don't know if a cement mixer's gonna make it still.
They said, you know, those guys don't own those things. They don't care.
No, they don't.
What do you think?
Looking good.
Clearing a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, we got the missus. Hi.
Hi, Jake.
It's going all the way down there, huh?
No.
I thought it was coming up this way more.
Oh, it is, but we need room to park.
Ah.
You know?
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's basically, I think, I'll probably take, I was just saying, those, okay, you don't need, you already heard this. All right, I've been disconnecting the tractor from the chipper at the end of the day just so I can fit it in the shelter logic. Because I'm just kind of working on this hour by hour as I have time, chipping away at it. And, you know, I don't really want the tractor sitting out in the rain. This thing does pretty well. It's basically sat outside its whole life. I've had it for about going on 5 years now, and still looks basically brand new. But like I said the other day, just trying to do only as much as I can per session that I'm out here, because I don't want a big mess just sitting around and like trees, you know, blocking stuff. So till next time. All right, guys, it has been a hot minute since we have worked on this tree clearing project back here for the new pole barn. But we had, that was for good reason. I was waiting to do any more big tree work with these big trees until we got the permit, the building permit. Now, just on Friday, I got approval from the final, you know, department entity of the town giving us approval for said building permit. I paid the fee. It was over $800 to just obtain the building permit, but we got the permit. I should be receiving the hard copy of it this coming week. It's currently Sunday morning. And with that news and getting the building permit, I now feel comfortable to start taking down the trees, because that was the final thing that could hold us up if the town just flat out said no for some reason. So with that being said, we are going to be taking down a tree today. I know the sun is right behind the tree, but it is this maple tree here. This tree has been in my way for access through our fence gate and the shelter logics ever since we moved in. But before we started clearing out all this area, this was all wood, so there never was really a reason to take it down. But now that the building's going here, obviously it's got to come down. So I'm gonna set a line up in it. I'm hoping that we can just pull the whole tree over into this area here. The tips of the tree are probably gonna brush on these smaller maple trees, but those will probably have to come down at some point as well. And I believe my buddy Chris is gonna come over and help me yank it over with the tractor. So I'm gonna get set up and ready for him. Just got the throw line set. I don't know if you guys can see, but I got it wrapped around that central leader right up there. So we'll be able to tie a nice running bowline and set our pull rope, and then we're gonna go down to, oh, there's some deer, 3 deer out there at the feeder. Then we'll probably go down to this big oak with a block with the tractor running straight down the road to pull it over, and it'll go perfectly this way. Look at all those deer. My buddy got a nice buck last week. I'll put a picture of it. So I've showed this knot a million times, but this is called a running bowline, and this is the best knot that arborists use to set a rope up at a point in the tree from the ground, because it's running, in other words. So basically what you do is take your tail end and your working end, and you're gonna put your working end around your other end, go like this, make a loop, come up through the loop, around the back side, and then back down. So as you can see, it makes a bowline. This is called a running bowline because now it's open, it's slacked, and you can pull on this side on the ground, and it's gonna send the knot up into the tree, securing it around whatever you have. Now, the one thing about this is that you have to have no obstructions in your rope. In other words, it has to be up and through a crotch and right around and back down the back side in order for you to be able to pull that knot all the way up to your point unobstructed. If you do have obstructions, then the knot is only going to go as high as the first obstruction. So now you can see it's all the way up there, and we have a nice straight rope coming all the way down. So this is the tree I want to use for my pulley, my block. As you can see, it's a nice straight shot right where I want it, all the way back here. Let's just hope that my sling is big enough to fit around this tree, this oak tree. I think it will be. I think we should just enough. There's Chris. Thanks for coming out. Okay. We're set. I was gonna set up, get the spider lift. I was like, why would I make so much more work for myself when we could just drop it one shot, have all the brush facing the same way, and just chip it up with the force. So, work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, that was a pretty smart move.
Yeah, you know, because I didn't want to bother you all day, but this is 15 minutes, you know, and then I can do the rest myself. Bowling on a bite. It's good for pulling stuff over. And we deadwood pruned that one oak, so we don't have that long bone anymore.
Perfect.
But yeah, it snapped right here. I cut through my hinge a little bit, but that's all right because I wanted to pull it to the left, and we had plenty of holding wood, so it's pretty good. It landed right where I wanted. I said the tips were going to brush those small maple saplings, and it's exactly what happened. So
Yeah, it looks good. I like all the open area you got here.
yeah, we're gonna have some more open area pretty soon too. Got to get this Got to get the ball rolling. All right, that worked out. Luckily, I have a big pile of debris there that I still need to get rid of, but I wanted to cut open a spot where I could drive the track chipper over to this side. Leave all the wood in the air, less to pin the brush. Let's go get the chipper. All right, guys, that is it as far as the cleanup for the brush goes. Out of that whole tree of all the chippable, brush and wood and everything like that, the only two pieces this chipper didn't chip were these two, and it's because they're physically just too big for the chipper. They're bigger than 8 inches. It's an 8-inch opening, and they just simply would not fit. I did all of that chipping in under an hour on the hour meter on the machine. Now, granted, the machine was running the whole time, so I was not chipping that whole time, but I don't know what I was thinking when I started doing it by hand. I like almost just forgot that I had this rotating Ryan's grapple because it works so well. Unfortunately, I'm not able to use it on the majority of my tree work jobs because they're residential tree work jobs, and this machine with all the pivoting at the chipper, unless the chipper's on asphalt or somewhere where, you can tear up, this machine just tears up, grass and stuff. So the tractor or the excavator works a little bit better on like grass, but in an area here where this is all gonna get torn up anyway, I tore up this little spot, which is maybe like a 10 by 10 area, and then wherever I was doing it over there. This mini chipper with the Baumelite and the Ryan's mini grapple, and even the tractor with the Wicked grapple, This is like micro logging. And I might use that term in the future because, I mean, you can really do some damage with these two small machines. And this machine is small enough to make feeding this small chipper, you know, realistic. It's not like you're feeding it with a huge excavator and trying to get, you know, these big pieces in. You know, the Baumolite is perfect size to, you know, feed this type of machine. And I gotta say, this force chipper accepts the stuff pretty well. Aside from when there's a crotch that it can't break, or if the piece is simply just too big, this thing just keeps chugging along. The auto cycle works great. And in conjunction with the Ryan's grapple, the nice thing about this grapple is once you feed a piece in, if it stops getting sucked through the chipper because of a big wide crotch or something, you could just go up and grab everything again. That's kind of why I was hovering the grapple over the brush until the majority of it was through, because you could just hover it over the brush as it feeds through the chipper and then drop it down if it stops and crunch it all, and you break the crotches because it tightens down to a pretty small area, as you can see there. So it breaks most crotches and allows them to effortlessly go through the force chipper. And I gotta go in. Sarah Hayes and I are headed to the boat show today to check out some boats down in Norwalk, Connecticut. But guys, just look at these chips. Like, this is really nice stuff. And it's all like this. All like this. Really nice chips. So yeah, that's gonna be it for now, but I'm really glad we got this one down. I'm gonna buck up this wood. I'm gonna save what I can for firewood. The rest, you know, the nasty, rotten stuff. Oh, look at this. Is that oh, that's a slug in there. Yeah, this is all included bark. You can see it just split right open. But yeah, I'm gonna save the good stuff for firewood. Probably get rid of this gnarly piece and a couple of the big crotch union pieces. But bring them down there with the tractor. Guys, we are back on, I guess I can say it, because by now in the video you know that we're clearing this to build a pole barn.
Well, I don't know if they know that. You might have just let the cat out of the bag.
Well,
we got a lot of new subscribers out there that know nothing.
Well, nobody knows anything because this video started back in March and now it's September and I haven't posted any of it. So that's why I'm saying, if they're watching the video and they got to this point, they already know that we're building a pole barn. So I could spill the beans and say that today, Monday, October 29th, 2 days before my birthday, we got word that the barn materials are going to be delivered Tuesday, December 2nd at 7 a.m. So we're good. But as good of news as that is, that means that now we got a lot of work to do. And my good buddy Chris here is nice enough to always help me out when I'm in a little bit of a pickle. We're not in a pickle yet, but if we wait much longer, we will be. So what we're doing here today, Chris was nice enough to come up, get the spider lift here, move tractor implements, get everything ready. We just cleaned out the old tractor Shelter Logic shed. We're gonna have to move that, but we're gonna try to brush out these two big oak trees. And the reason being why we've left these trees for so long is because I 100% did not want to cut down these big mature oak trees unless I was absolutely 100%, 1,000,000,000% sure that this barn was going to be moving forward. And now we have the building permit. It's been approved by the town. Building, zoning, wetlands, environmental, everything, health department. So now I feel confident and comfortable with cutting down these trees because one, it's a lot of work, and two, why would I cut down these big, beautiful trees seemingly in the woods unless we're gonna put a giant pole barn here? which is exactly what we're gonna do. So we're gonna get busy. Remember when me and my dad dug out this little hole?
Yeah.
Oh, time flies. Now what? That looks good. This one's gonna stay here because this one's a little more complicated. It's got a bunch of stuff in it, and we anchored it to telephone poles. So I think that one will be all right.
Yeah, we just needed that one out of the way so we can easily get these tips.
Yeah, basically these couple branches that come all the way out over the fence. The fence is gonna be the last thing that comes down because the barn is gonna basically be halfway in the yard and halfway behind the fence, so. Guys, well, we had a minor setback here. One of the tracks, or the right track, popped off the front idle, or the mini skid. Just got it back on, greased back up and tensioned up. Chris already got this whole tree brushed out down to the stick, and he's a good way of the portion through this piece. It's a big mess. I'm obviously not able to keep up, especially with this thing down, but at least we're brushing them out, and you know, I can drop that stick by myself and I can clean up all this brush by myself. So I'm just gonna keep chipping away little by little with the force here, and he's gonna brush out as much as he can. I don't say it enough, but thank you very much.
No problem, buddy.
I really appreciate the help. Chris just made a huge mess, but he made it look very easy. Went up, bombed out big pieces, working around me, trying to, you know, play catch up, cleaning everything up. Now I know this looks like a Category 5 hurricane just ripped through here, but we'll have this all cleaned up, you know, not nice, but a lot more than it is by tomorrow. There's just a couple more big tops and stuff in here. Spider lift's kind of in the way of me getting down there. I think I need to bring up the excavator because although the mini skid steer is great, on the hills it doesn't work so well pulling these big pieces. It just wants to tip forward just because of the weight. You know, it's such a small machine. But we got all the wood chunked down to here, so we could just drop that stick. Once this is all cleaned up, we'll drop this stick. It's covered in poison ivy. We got a pile of logs going right here. We got wood everywhere. Now, I know a lot of you guys are gonna be disappointed to hear this, but a lot of this wood I'm probably just gonna haul away or look to places to give it away, because it's not straight. It's either really big diameter or pretty small diameter. And I know a lot of you guys would love this diameter stuff, but for us, it just doesn't really amount to all that much firewood. And considering I still have to take down those 2 trees and a bunch of other trees, and I have a log pile down there that's about 12 feet tall and 100 feet long. So I got wood. I don't need more wood. So that's probably what we're gonna do with that. We got, I don't know, not even half a box of chips. So we'll keep chipping into the truck tomorrow, but for now we got to get the spider lift out of here. I told my buddy we only would use it for a couple hours, and this is exactly what I wanted to get done. These 2 trees open up a lot of room, gives me something to work on this week after work to clean up. So thanks again, Chris. Let's get out of here. All right, I just did a bunch of cutting back there on all that brush, so the majority of that stuff should be sizable for me to pull out with the mini skid steer. I can keep moving the wood. I kind of messed up on where I put the wood, kind of and kind of not. Well, kind of, I think. There's kind of like a hole here from where the shelter logic was, and then there's another hole over here. So kind of these 2 little avenues to skirt past, but this log pile is gonna get bigger than that. So probably gonna have to start making another pile. some sort of hydraulic line or fitting or something. Oh man, that is not good. Oh, this is not good. Whatever this is, it has just dumped. I think it's got to be in the exhaust cooler or something. one of these lines. Look at it, it's just, nothing hit the fan or anything. Yeah, I think I just blew my hydraulic cooler. Oh my good, it's just draining all of the fluid. I'm not sure if it's cracked internally or right at the weld there. It almost looks like right at the weld. All right, guys, so I think I found the culprit. I don't know if you could see in there, but there is like, I think there's a crack on the weld right there, like where it looks almost blue. I think that's all the hydraulic fluid just dumping out here along that crack on the edge of the hydraulic cooler. So that really sucks. Okay, well, I'm not gonna be able to use this thing, so we gotta get it out of here. I guess excavator is probably the ticket to drag this. I don't think the tractor's dragging this thing out of here. All right, well, this is where she'll lay for the time being. We'll see what, I mean, I know what the solution's gonna be. We're gonna see how Baumolite responds to the news. All right, that kind of ate into my time out here, but right now I think my best, got weeds and stuff grabbing the tripod. I think the best use of my time is just organizing all this. I'm gonna pull all the big wood out of here because I'm just gonna have to keep tracking around it, so might as well pile it up. We actually might have found somebody that wants a whole load, if not more, of this stuff, so that would be great. And then we're just gonna organize all the brush, get it staged for chipping. Gonna throw you guys on a time lapse. Here we go. Guys, I think that is about it for today. Starting to lose daylight pretty quick, and pretty much all of the equipment is out of diesel, and obviously the mini skid steer is out of hydraulic fluid because of that little issue. So basically what I did here, I mean, obviously I'm not trying to clean up like perfect, but we got a big pile of stuff that's chippable here. We have a big pile of logs over here. My buddy Trevor, who Chris and I work with daily, is going to be coming up on Saturday, as is Chris, to help me get down these last 2 oak trees over here, and then hopefully chip up this pile of brush. And then once we have all these big trees down, like by big I mean these oak trees, I'm gonna want to take down probably some more selective small ones. I'm not exactly sure because I don't know what all of this is gonna look like once it's leveled out. But I do envision a big parking area back here, so I want to make sure that we take trees. You know, I'm thinking that I'll probably take that oak tree back there, as well as all these saplings, this black birch tree, as well as all these maples, and we'll kind of leave the border of some bigger trees back there, because that's pretty far back from where the back of the building is going to be. So, you know, I don't need to make a huge parking area out here, but I want to give ourselves plenty of room to be able to dig and grade and, you know, make the pad that we need to make. And I'm a little bit nervous because there's some pretty big rocks up in there. So that's where we're at for now. I'm gonna go take the fuel tank, get some diesel to fuel the rest of this project. Like that? You like that? All right. I've been using these machines a lot lately, obviously, to do all this stuff. I have haze today after work. It's actually my birthday, so getting to spend my birthday with my buddy, doing a little bit of maintenance and prep work. Right? You having fun? You like all this stuff? Yeah? He sure doesn't seem to mind. All right, we're out here, fueled up. Might as well see how the excavator does feeding the forest. Brief little update, it is the next day from when the Baumolite blew the weld on the hydraulic cooler. And I'm very happy to say that I emailed them, they got right back to me, and they're shipping me out. I believe they already shipped out a new hydraulic cooler. At least I got like the purchase order for it, free of cost. So that's awesome. I definitely feel like that, you know, is a warrantyable thing. You know, nothing hit that, it just blew, as you guys saw yesterday. So that's awesome. Baumolite taking care of me on that. Let's see how this does feeding this chipper. So all in all, guys, I gotta say that I was pretty impressed with the way that the excavator was able to feed this Force XR8D chipper. And that kind of goes for all of the equipment I've tried shipping or feeding it with, including the Baumolite mini skid steer with that rotating Ryan's grapple. The only downfall is that when you're on the machine, sometimes a branch or something will hit that red safety bar to reverse the feed wheels. And then, you know, if you're on the mini skid steer, it's not a big deal. You just hop off and, you know, hit that green button that you just saw me hop out and tap on the side of the chipper feed chute there. But if you're in the excavator, especially with a baby strapped to your chest, it's a little more time consuming and involved to get out, you know, open up the door, hop down. So you see me doing that here, and sometimes it's just like a stupid little twig or something that hits it with just enough force to reverse those feed wheels. So I really wish Force would come out with some sort of remote control or something on magnets that you could just move to whatever machine you're feeding the chipper with, simply to just reverse those feed wheels. I'm not looking to use something like that when you're hand feeding it, but with a machine it would make it a lot nicer. Well, that worked pretty well. It's just kind of a test here. This isn't the best brush. There's a lot of stuff that's too big for this chipper. I was kind of planning that pile for when my buddy comes, this bigger 12-inch chipper, but I got nothing going on today. Like I said, it's my birthday, so what better way to spend my birthday than with my son here playing on some toys. So he just started getting a little fussy, so that's plenty of time. I think we made about a good half an hour, 45 minutes, so that's pretty good. Check back in next time we're out here. Okay guys, we're back a couple days later working on the tree clearing project for the new pole barn. As you can see, we got Chris, his truck here. We got Chris, we got Trevor, we got Trevor's chipper. This is a Bandit 250, yep. Right?
Yeah, Bandit 250.
So we're gonna be putting this thing to use today, along with the excavator. And the goal today is to get these 2 oak trees down. Now, as you can see, one of them is outside of the fence, but the majority of it leans over this backyard area. And then the white oak up there in the corner is within the fence, but it has a pretty good spread on it. And we're gonna be, changing the topography all back here to grade this out and level it for the barn. So I'd like to get that one down as well. Plus there's just a lot of big dead bones in it over the fence and everything, and I'd like to open this area up, less leaves to deal with in the future. So that's the goal. Trevor's gonna hop up in this one. He's already got his rope set, and we're gonna start bombing down big pieces using the excavator to feed the chipper and chip into the back of Chris's truck. Here we go. Oh yeah, that was a real mamooker. All right, guys, that is it. Last piece of brush. The rest of the trunk we're just gonna drop. Trevor tied a rope on while he was up on that last back left horn. So he's gonna come down, gonna get this shipped up. But that is the fourth and final big tree that we wanted to get down here for this barn project. I can't believe how much more open this whole area is. It's gonna be great. Can't thank these guys enough. Trevor, put it here. Great job, buddy.
Thank you.
Chris, you too. Couldn't have done it without you. Okay, that is a wrap. Chris is pulling out with a third load of chips. We just took down a couple more small, maple, hickory, birch saplings up in that corner. And I mean, there's still a couple more trees to come down. That white oak is gonna come down, but I can drop that at some point. And then I know for sure that that black birch is gonna come down. If I had to guess, probably these couple little maples right here. And then I think that's gonna be it, at least until my buddy comes with his big excavator and we start digging in here to see what we can get as far as a level compacted pad for this thing. And that'll dictate what other trees, if any, we have to take down. Obviously we're gonna drop these big sticks, but I don't want those on the ground. Those are big and I don't wanna have to move them any more than just once into the truck and then take it to where they gotta go. So again, Trevor, thank you very much.
Yep, no worries.
Appreciate it. Looks really good back here. Chris, thank you. He's out of here, but all right, we'll check back in next time we're working on it. All right, guys, we are back the next day. Me, Sarah, and Hayes just got back from the Portland, Connecticut Agricultural Fair. And there they have tractor pulls, they have mud bog, mega trucks, rock bouncers, cattle pulls, carnival rides, the whole 9 yards. Good old country fair. We had a lot of fun. I'll include a couple clips from the trucks and the mud bog and stuff here. It was pretty cool. Believe it or not, they do have that stuff in Connecticut, more of it than you would think. Albeit not in our direct area. It's about an hour away, like I said, up in Portland, Connecticut, home of Morin Diesel, the dealer for the Ryan's rotating log grapple, which is currently on the Baumlite mini skid steer you guys saw earlier in this video. Blew that hydraulic cooler on the Baumlite, cracked weld. They got one already shipped out on the way for replacement. So that was a lot of fun. But this morning I came out, and as you can see, I blew all of the debris and leaves and stuff over here. And over here where we were really using the excavator and the machines and stuff, it's just so dusty. There isn't a lot of grass from the dogs up here to begin with. I don't really overseed or do anything back here except for mow it a couple times a season, because it really doesn't grow all that much, mostly because it never got all that much sun. But now it's gonna get a lot more sun with all the trees that we took down. So as you can see, I got 3 big piles here. Going to clean those up and just get it blown off, because I don't know when all the dirt work is gonna start out here. It'll be in the next couple of weeks, but I don't want this just sitting there. Well guys, it is Friday, October 17th at 3:30 in the afternoon. Beautiful fall day here. I got my better half, Chris, out here helping me out. And although we didn't really film anything to add to this video today, we did quite a bit of work. If the fact that we're both holding Coors Banquets tells you anything, we have finished the tree clearing for the pole barn. And by finished, that's a light finish because we still have to drop 2 sticks, but all of the trees have been removed and taken down. We removed quite a few over here on the side along the road. We went around and took, I don't know how many, maybe, including small ones, maybe another 20 down today. But if you just look up at the sky, I mean, I have a full camera frame of just sky right now, which is pretty wild compared to how this all started. This was a lot of work, but it's fun work and we have the equipment to do it. The Forced XR8D was the primary chipper that we used for all of this. My buddy Trevor's Bandit 250 also played a crucial role here in the end for some of the bigger stuff. Kubota U35 excavator, major role. The ATV is always the transport vehicle for equipment and stuff. Baumolite mini dumper was featured a little bit. And let's not forget the Baumolite TRL 630D mini skid steer and the Ryans rotating grapple. The part for this should be here today. So this thing is gonna be back up and running, but this played a major role in the beginning of this project and, most of the way through. We have a very large pile of logs, and like I said, we still have these 2 huge sticks to drop, but that's why they're still standing, because like I said, I don't want to have to move them several times because they're just so big. This is where we cut down several trees. In this back corner, we took down a big multi-stem white oak, as you can see from the stump right there, and then a bunch of other smaller trees back here. So all in all, first of all, thank you very much for all of your help. Everybody.
Always willing to help. These projects that we do and have filmed here on the property, well, a ton of work. It has been so much fun. Between the original woodyard, the woodyard expansion, and now this little land clearing project, it's stuff that we don't get to do in our day-to-day life. It's not anything we typically do for side work, but it's something that we can kind of dabble in now because we've tried, we've practiced.
Yeah. I think we proved that we can definitely do small-scale land clearing. We have the equipment to do it. I think we have some very specialized equipment that a lot of other companies do not have, that, we can get places where other chippers cannot, and I'm talking about that Force chipper. But we've had a lot of fun doing it. Like Chris said, it was a lot of work, but the thing that I take away from this, and the cool thing about doing YouTube that a lot of people I guess don't realize, is the whole time we're making these videos and you guys are watching them, and it's great and all, but the way that I look at it is 20 years from now, when my son is grown up and he's been living on this property for 20 years, we'll go back and watch these videos and I'll be able to show him what the property looked like and all of the blood, sweat, and tears that we put into getting it to where it'll be in 20 years. Because I got a plan up here, and everything that we have done on this property has been part of that plan. Time and money has to allow for it and help, but we're doing it, and I'm proud to say that we did it ourselves. So that's gonna wrap this one up, guys. I hope you enjoyed clearing trees for a pole barn. I know this was a long video, so thanks for all of you that have stuck it out. Started filming this back in March, so it's been a lot longer of a video for me than the hour and a half that you guys have watched. But let me know what you thought of this long video. If you like long videos like this, of big projects like this, because it takes quite a bit of work and editing to, you know, make this come to fruition to be out on YouTube to watch it. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you got any comments, questions, feedback. But this pole barn project is chugging right along, and before you know it, we'll be sinking some posts into the ground. So as always, guys, if you like the video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button down below. But for now, I'm Jake.
And I'm Chris.
This is Dude Ranch DIY. Thanks so much for watching. See you here next time.